really be a resume builder for them.
It really would. Both these teams off to good starts in their non-conference play. Xavier's 11-1, UNI's 8-3. Steve, what grabs your eyes from the lineups tonight for the starters?
I really think that Gooden and McLeod, two really solid point guards, are going to be two guys to look for.
Keep our eyes on those young men, and UNI in the home white uniforms tonight. This place seats 6,650. The students are on break, and they've still packed this place. And there is National Player of the Year candidate number 5 there for Xavier in black. Trayvon blew it, and you saw Pickford number 4 for UNI. UNI with the opening tip.
Xavier in a man-to-man. Actually, look. Yeah, they're in a man-to-man. You can tell when you get a cutter cutting through that lane.
Into the corner it goes. Now up top, Carlson. Shot clock down to 5. Carlson's got good range. Trying to take Gates. Little floater, no good. And the rebound into the hands of Quentin Gooden.
Carlson's a very good offensive player. Get in the lane. He's left-handed. They pull up and shoot that 3. Good defense by Kaiser on that possession.
And Kaiser Gates with a basketball now. He and J.P. Makura are both back in the lineup. They both missed the last game against Marshall. Here's a turnover, and here comes Pickford. Pickford thought about it. Steve, for UNI offensively, what do they like to do and what are they good at?
Well, you'll see they're not a big transition team. They even held up on that fast break. But they're good ball movement. They're very fundamental. They like to get the ball inside to Cook 25 down low. But the main guy the ball goes to is number 2, Carlson.
And inside, and foul's going to be called against Xavier's. In the neighborhood was Tyreek Jones. Keys to the game, Steve.
Xavier's got to get the ball out and run, and they have to be under control. Try to get the ball inside to the big fellas. UNI has got to rebound the basketball, and they have to keep Xavier away from the free throw line. Xavier makes more free throws than the opponent shoots. That is a huge factor.
It is a monstrous stat and a monstrous advantage. The foul was called there on that last play by Quentin Gooden, sophomore guard out of Kentucky. And Cook gives Northern Iowa a 2-0 lead. He's a third-generation player, the third member of his family, I should say, to play here. And one of his brothers is a part of their coaching staff, and he's given the Panthers a 2-0 lead here early on.
Been a Cook on the team ever since Ben Jacobson's come to UNI.
Wow, 12 years, and the Panthers forcing the turnover against Chris Mack in his 9th season, approaching 200 career wins at Xavier. Really done a tremendous job, as you well know, Steve, and so too is that gentleman there, Ben Jacobson, the product of the University of North Dakota.
With the most wins in the UNI program. You watch his practices, you talk to him, you can see why he's so successful. Very businesslike. He's got good kids.
Here's Cook down inside. He's got all their points. Bennett Cook with a flush. 4-0. UNI
would like to get Cook involved early inside. That would open it up for the outside jump shooters.
There's Gates from downtown, and he knocks it down. The first Xavier points of the night.
You know, I think he's the biggest surprise this year. He has really grown into an outside shooting threat. He's very confident, and that opens it up for Tyreek Jones and for Sean O'Mara.
Shooting 43.5% from downtown. Here's Pickford trying one for 3, rimmed out. And it's gathered in by Gooden.
See, I would have liked to see him go back inside to Cook. Yeah. They've had success. Don't need to rely on that 3-point jump shot.
Gooden tries it. And it came into the hands there of Jawan McLeod.
And I'll say the same thing right there. Yeah. Xavier has to get the ball inside.
Carlson swings for Pickford. Coming up on 3 minutes gone in this first half. Panthers of UNI looking downtown as Carlson off the glass. He's their leader.
Well, we're Central Time Zone, but as Pete Dillon says, I guess there's a bank open someplace.
Pete's back in the studio in New York tonight, along with John Rothstein and Dana Jacobson. Here's Isaiah Brown with a good-looking freshman out of Flower Mound, Texas, is Brown. So is this young man that Steve talked about, Pickford. He gave it up for Carlson.
You know, I think the most important thing, not the bank shot was not intended, but The fact of the matter is that Carlson was wide open. Tyree Jones is going to extend out on him.
Here's Cook again, the double team, and they call jump ball. And the basketball is going to go over to Xavier. Xavier had the possession arrow, and these two teams exceptional in two certain areas.
Now, Xavier really scores the basketball, but UNI is solid on the defensive end, so something's going to have to give.
Just a skosh under 88 points a game for Xavier. That 59 mark. Outstanding for Ben Jacobson and his team. Fife is checked into the game. They're going to call a travel there. Brown looked at the referee, thought maybe he fouled him, but the travel against Makura.
But what they were trying to do is get the ball in the hands of Makura, who's one of the best passers on the team, and get him in a position where he can drive or dish off in the lane. Still got to try to continue to feed that post down to O'Mara.
Here's Carlson, skips it across. Brown gets a step, gets open. And a good job, there he is. Pickford, you talked about him, Steve. Close to 10 rebounds a game, leading their club in that department. Here's Makura now back the other way against Carlson. Strong move, he's an aggressive and an emotional player, and he takes it strong to the hole there.
That's interesting. Nobody fouled on that play. UNI is one of the best teams in not fouling. And they don't want to put Xavier in the free throw line. They gave Makura that open road to the basket. Didn't foul him.
Pickford continues on. Nice defense there. Just standing there was O'Mara. And now Xavier's got a chance to tie or take the lead. Blew it. And another turnover forced. UNI on top by 2 against number 9 Xavier early. Sold out building here tonight, McLeod Center. Cedar Falls, Iowa. Great to have you with us with Steve Wolf. My name is Ben Holden and all of our crew. We wish you happy holidays. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast so far. And we played 5 minutes. Xavier's turned it over 4 times already. And UNI can't convert inside. Checking into the game for the Panthers, Wyatt Lohaus, number 33.
What's interesting about those 4 turnovers, Ben, is that 3 of them with Trayvon Blewett. He's out of the game right now. Ozzie Marshall's in, number 13.
He is. Just gave it up there for the downtown try, and it is good by J.P. Makura. Knocks it down, does Makura, and gives Xavier an 8-7 lead.
Makura lives in Minneapolis, not that far from here.
Yeah, 2.5 hours, depending on how fast you drive. Also checking in with the basketball, Spencer Haldeman, number 30, can really shoot it.
He walked.
He did, yes.
But you know what? He didn't have his feet set. You've got to be ready to get the ball. When Haldeman drove in that lane, Carlson was moving. He's got to get set so the ball is ready when his feet are ready at the same time. I was watching Haldeman. I was watching Haldeman play in the Texas-Arlington game, and the improvement from last year to this year is immense. This is a kid who is really brimming with confidence. He'll take that shot way deep behind the three-point line and also can score in transition.
Leads their team with 22 three-point attempts. And another whistle here, foul called. And the basketball goes back over to UNI. There is Haldeman. And you noticed something yesterday in practice, we saw it again today. He's not the only number 30 on this team, in practice anyway, for Ben Jacobson.
Well, Haldeman's the best three-point shooter on his team. And Taiwan Pickford was wearing 30 yesterday, and I asked him, I said, why are you wearing 30? And he's basically wearing it because he felt like Haldeman's a great three-point shooter. Maybe it'll rub off on me.
That's great. He was in it again today, too. And Carlson's down, back behind the play, holding the back of his head. He's still writhing in pain. And a charge is called, and Carlson is still down. And the trainer gets out to take a look at him. Did he ever go down hard to the deck? We look back, Steve.
Well, watch Carlson as a low center of the screen. It's hits his head on the floor. You see fighting for the rebound. The box out is Kaiser Gates going. Carlson gets a hit in the back of the head. I'll tell you, the end of that play now, Ben, was really important. They were down one player with Carlson laying down on the floor. Xavier had a 5-on-4, and Rhodes stepped up and took that charge on Scruggs. Not a real smart play on Scruggs' part,
right,
but a very heady play by Rhodes.
They're going to take Carlson to the end of the bench, although he doesn't look like he wants anything to do with it. He's like, I'm fine, but they're going to check him out. He hit the back of his head very hard. And he's telling the trainer there, I'm all right.
That's a physical game. I mean, you need to look at him, make sure, but this is a tough kid. I mean, we talked about his improvement year over year. Last year, this year, he is definitely the most improved player on this team.
And I think part of that, I'm sure you'll agree, is the fact that he's come in every day in the offseason leading up to the season, and he's worked hard on his game in the mornings. He's putting in his own time. Helped him turn his game to another level. Here's Lohaus inside of the three-point arc, and Friedman had the ball, but he was fouled inside. So it was Ted Friedman.
This is a different team. The Panthers last year had only 29 rebounds per game. Now they're averaging 39, and I really think you got the fifth-year senior, you got Cook, and you got Carlson, but you have guys like Pickford that are smaller that are getting in there and helping out, and it's really become their identity.
In fact, they're the #1 improved team in rebounding in the nation at nearly 9.9 per game. Duke second at 9.2 a game in that department. Haldeman, see if he can hit it. Got it! Knocked it down. The kid can shoot.
That's why Pickford wants his uniform in practice.
And it ended a 4-minute drought scoring for UNI. As Nakura missed from downtown, and Lohaus comes back. Takes it in there, off the glass and through. It is good for Wyatt Lohaus.
Lohaus has not played much this year. He hasn't played really in 2 years because he had foot issues. And I'll tell you, he has given them a boost and a shot in the arm with his transition offense.
Listen to this place. Sellout crowd. 7th turnover for Xavier.
UNI is so solid in the half court. They're fundamental defensively. They know where they're going to go and defend the man, but they're also not allowing anything in the paint. Xavier's not scoring on the low block at all. Everything's coming from perimeter.
Haldeman swings it into the corner there. Hunter Rhodes. Lohaus. Shot clock now under 10. They feed it into Cook. Cook turns around with a right hand and sticks it a 7-0 UNI run. Try for three. Xavier can't get it. Short on the shot attempt there. As Scruggs missed it. We got a stoppage with 11:32 to play in the first half. North and UNI. So many great things you can say about him, and the list of accomplishments is endless. Just a legend, an icon, a giant in sports broadcasting.
Yeah, and I think that it's ironic that he died of a heart attack. I mean, he had so much heart and put so much passion into what he did, but he was always the most humble sports broadcaster, and I really enjoyed watching him and listening to him. I remember when Al McGuire and Billy Packer and Mr. Enberg did the games back in the day. They were awesome.
Yeah, it was. So many great calls, and this game, UNI on top by 6 as we get back to it here, nearing the midway point of the first half here. And there's Jones sticking one in close. UNI has made their last 4 field goals. It's 16-12 now. They lead.
It's the first time the Musketeers have gotten the ball in the paint. Now they have gone to the 1-3-1 defense. And Chris Mack is not a real zone guy. He likes man-to-man, but he needs the zone to get Xavier out of the rut they're in right now.
There's McLeod up top. He knocked it down as Brown found him. And UNI extends the lead to 7. Their biggest lead in the game so far.
Well, McLeod has played against Jalen Brunson. He's also, as a sophomore, has improved so much from freshman year.
There's a steal by McLeod. 8th in the Missouri Valley in that department, Steve.
Xavier with their 8th turnover in the first half. Good defense by McLeod in the lane.
Not a good recipe on the road. Carlson thought about it and then knocked it down again. 12 points for UNI off 8 Xavier turnovers. And Xavier comes right back. It's Trayvon Blewett who counters and silences the crowd for now.
Well, I think when you establish that inside game and you have Cook on that low block, it opens that up for Carlson to hit that outside jump shot. UNI now with back-to-back three-point jumpers in the last 2 possessions.
In the corner, they try another one. Missing badly into the hands of Karam Cantor.
I don't think UNI wants to live and die with that 3. They need to continue trying to get the ball inside. You'll see inside, outside, great look cross court, and the extra pass by Brown. And I tell you, you cannot let Carlson open out there. He is a solid shooter, and he can go about 3 feet, 4 feet past the three-point line.
The story tonight for Xavier so far, unfortunately for them, has been the turnovers. 12 and a half a game. They've already had 8 turnovers here tonight.
Ben Jacobson said yesterday in the shoot-around that he said, this is a Xavier team that doesn't turn the ball over. We're going to have to find a way to get easy buckets from them.
They're doing that so far. You surprised at the way this game has gone so far, Steve?
I think that I'm a little surprised at the turnovers by the Xavier Musketeers, but you're talking about UNI, one of the best defensive teams in the country.
Top 5, just 59 points allowed per game. Carlson again off the heel, and Makura with a rebound.
Look for Cantor to get involved in this game. He's a real offensive threat. You see him hitting that jump shot. He came into the Xavier program as a transfer from Wisconsin Green Bay.
Yeah.
And he really didn't fit in because he didn't have a year to sort of acclimate. And in the first couple of games he struggled. He had a meeting with Coach Mack.
Yeah.
And they just agreed that he was going to start playing a lot better, and he has.
Easy solution, right? Brown missed from the corner. There's Cantor with the basketball. Good all-around game. Of course, his brother played at Kentucky in the NBA now with the Knicks. Here's Gooden with a quick step, and he gets through there. Exploding to the hole is Gooden.
Just like that. 8-0 run by the Xavier Musketeers, but real quick on that, Cantor said, I'm not happy with my playing time. I want to play more, and Chris Mack conference top to bottom.
Chris Mack, Xavier's team, on an 8-0 run. Shooting 8 for 13 now. They've made 5 of their last 6. UNI, their last 5 field goal attempts have been threes.
If I'm UNI, I'm a little bit bent out of shape that they haven't done more with the 8 turnovers. Xavier's turned the ball over, twice as much as they do in the first half of any game. And I think UNI should be taking advantage of that to pound this lead. But Xavier has continued to come back in games when they're down this year.
Yep. So Xavier, the turnovers have been their bugaboos so far.
He's really not taking care of the basketball. Trayvon Blewett, loud of sorts in the beginning, had 3 turnovers early on, took a break, and has come back out. And now Xavier is on a run.
Game tied at 22 now. 7 minutes remaining in this first half. First time we've been tied here tonight.
Good drive by Gooden on that last basket.
10-0 run. Fife, left-handed hook shot, air ball. And Blewett couldn't hold it in. Here's the one we missed. We'll look back.
Beautiful pass in for an easy layup. Chris Mack does a very nice job of setting up out-of-bounds plays. You'll see that out of timeouts. They get more baskets out of out-of-bounds plays than any team that I've seen in a long time.
UNI tries it here. Haldeman for Lojas. Tough shot, good defense by Trayvon Blewett. And then Gooden stepped out of bounds on the baseline.
That was good defense by Blewett. For young kids out there, If you watch Trayvon Blewett when he plays defense, watch how he holds his feet. Now, there's Gooden getting out of bounds. It's a good call by Blue. But Trayvon Blewett just walled up, didn't jump, and Haldeman had to go over top of him. Wasn't able to do it.
Randy Heimerman is our crew chief tonight. He went over and talked to Chris Mack, then to Ben Jacobson. Steve, you got the verdict?
Yeah, the shot clock repositioned after he got the ball and went out of bounds. It was just a reset of the shot clock. We're going a full 30 seconds.
UNI basketball tie game at 22 apiece. Into Cook had a good start in the game. Their first 4 points using that side. No size. They call the foul on the floor. Sean O'Mara guilty of that.
If you watch O'Mara, he uses his body, but look at Cook go into him once just to push him back a little bit, and then O'Mara had to come out, and that's when he fouled him. It was good body use by Cook on that low block.
Carlson there, number 2 back in the game for UNI. If you weren't with us earlier, went down very hard, back of his head off the court. He's down for several seconds. He's back in the game and good to go. Rebounded inside by Gates. Now Gooden. First in the Big East, 6.2 assists per game. Gates, no good. Rebounded by Cook. And that was Ben Jacobson. He said to you yesterday and then us again today, he said rebound, rebound, rebound.
And it's important. It's a one and done. That's just a bad look by Haldeman.
Yeah, trying to go to Cook inside and missed him by about a foot.
Well, Haldeman is such a good three-point jump shooter. He's going to have opportunities to feed the post because there's no way the defense is going to slack off of him. That opens it up. I'll make that pass.
Under 6 to play. Still tied at 22. Knocked away inside by Haldeman. Knocked it away from Makura. Now it's knocked away into the hands of Gooden. This guy can run. Gets it ahead from Makura. Blocked from behind by Cook. What a play by the big man coming back.
3 good defensive plays. Haldeman, Makura, and then Cook.
Lowhouse watched by Gooden. Haldeman. Makura on him. Gates stays with Carlson. Shot clock at 5 now. Carlson trying to get free. Got in there and couldn't finish it.
3 big guys from Xavier coming over and helping out. That's going to be an offensive foul.
That's got to be.
It might not have been an offensive foul if he didn't use that offhand to push back. Watch his hustle play by Cook. An excellent block in transition. Running the court for a big man. Makura with a steal and then not able to convert at the other end. Watch that left hand. You see, it pulls it up. If Gooden doesn't pull that hand up, they might not call that charge. The game right now, the tempo is 100% UNI. They play in the 50s. The Musketeers play in the 70s and 80s.
Cook against O'Mara. Cook switches the right hand. Couldn't get the roll, and rebound taken away by Scruggs.
Well, I tell you, O'Mara is playing really strong on Cook. He's got nothing down low. It's important to watch you big guys. Watch O'Mara. He's not given any space at all. He's just staying right in there. Actually made Cook switch. He's right hand and throw it up. O'Mara's one of those guys that struggled early in the year, and he has been an offensive machine, but I think his defense is the reason why he's playing more time.
Blewett knocked it down from outside. Trayvon Blewett. Denver's first lead since they were up 8-7. They're up by 3, a 13-0 run in the last 5:25 and counting.
Trayvon Blewett has ice water in his veins. You don't see a change in demeanor on this kid. He missed 11 shots in a row against East Tennessee State and came back and hit the game winner.
And Makura had a rough night against East Tennessee State, but tonight was 7 points leading their charge, but UNI comes right back.
O'Mara last time walled up Cook. This time Friedman got good body control and got the low block in his possession. Took it up easy.
And there's O'Mara inside. Couldn't get that little short shot to go. And rebounded, taken away by UNI. It's Rhodes into the front court. Coming up on 3 to play in the half. Like you said, Steve, this is UNI's kind of game. They want it low, the score. Here is Pickford, blocked away inside nicely by O'Mara.
But I like what UNI's doing. That's 3 straight possessions where they've tried to go inside. 2 with the pass and 1 with the drive. With the three-pointer win, you have an open shot.
Little floater there by J.P. McCura. And short on it. Remains a 1-point lead for number 9, Xavier.
Xavier in that zone. It's like a 1-2-2.
Brown skips it across the court. Carlson will shoot it from deep. Blew it up to pull it down.
It's a good ball fake by Carlson to get open. Wasn't able to knock it down.
Xavier team averaging 87.8 a game. 11 turnover. Trayvon blew it. Ice water in his veins. A 3 gives the Musketeers a 1-point lead. Numbers, field goal percentage, and the scoring margin right now. None of those things are holding the chalk. So I think that Xavier is going to have to understand that they're playing against UNI. That's going to slow it down, move the ball good on offense, take up some of that shot clock. But on defense, they're packing it in. You're going to have the 3, but you got to get the ball inside. 2:15 to play until halftime. McLeod into the corner for Brown. Najee Marshall the rebound. Trayvon blew it on the run. And McLeod got a piece of him there. And the foul will be called with 2:03 to play in the half.
Well, Xavier getting out in transitions. This is what they do best. They like to get the ball ahead. I asked Coach Jacobson today, does that bother you how fast Xavier is in transition? He said, not really, because we've played against North Carolina. We've played against Villanova. We worry about what we do. But Xavier can throw a lot of players at you. They are physical, they're fast, and they know how to get to the rim.
No question about it. 2-point lead for the number 9 team in the nation, Xavier, here on the road. Chris Mack still has a timeout to use, or he'll lose it. Inside of 2 minutes to play until the halftime break.
The thing that UNI has to do, they have to continue trying to get the ball inside to Cook. They got Cantor guarding Cook. Cantor is not the defender that Jones or O'Mara is.
Here's Pickford in the corner to Brown. Carlson taken away. Good read there. It's taken away by Scruggs. Back the other way off the glass and good. And Xavier continues his run they're on. 19-2 run since they trailed 22-12.
Carlson threw that pass cross court. That is a hard pass to make.
17-2. I correct that. 17-2 run. Here's Cook. You said it. Go to him.
Well, you're talking Cantor's not as tall. He's not as good of a defender in that low block. Now, offensively, Cantor is very solid as a 5-man down low. But you have to continue going at the inside guys so that your guys like Haldeman and Rhodes and Brown can get their jump shots.
Marshall gave it up for Cantor. Shot clock winding down. 2 seconds. Travel. Another turnover called on Scruggs. Goes back over to UNI with 42.5 to go in the half.
Xavier Musketeers have their season average right now in turnovers.
So substitutions for both teams. Final seconds here. Inside of a minute to play until halftime.
What they want to do, UNI has got to get something positive here. Continue trying to get the ball into the paint, either with a dribble and maybe kick out for a jumper.
Haldeman will try from deep and knocks it down. Another 3. for Spencer Haldeman, their leader in that department. That's a big bucket.
That is a huge bucket. And they're using the use it or lose it timeout.
Timeout taken by Xavier. Played 75 straight games until he was injured last November in one of the two matchups that they had against Xavier. Here we go, the final 15 seconds.
Look for Gooden to dribble drive, get to the basket, or to kick out. He is very quick.
Instead, he's fouled by Brown.
And that's a smart play. We talked about UNI not fouling very much, so they're not in the bonus. So they have 2 fouls to give.
Yep.
They'll do it again.
10 seconds and counting left in the half. Xavier trying to take the lead in the locker room at the break. Karam Cantor drives, no good. Rebound into the hands of Isaiah Brown. And after 20 minutes, Steve Wolf, a tie game at 29 apiece. And Chris, the year candidate, now 6th all-time in Xavier history, and he's got a chance to finish. He should finish number 2 all-time when he's done.
Well, he passed over to Holloway. It was a very good guard for Xavier. He's got about 1,000 more to get close to Byron Larkin,
yes,
the all-time leading scorer.
Impressive.
Byron does the radio. He's a color analyst for the radio for Xavier basketball. As you look at Coach Jacobson.
Yep, good man, too. Had a chance to meet him last night with you and some of the gang, and it was fun to get to know him. So back to it here with Steve Wolf, Ben Holden, all of our crew. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast so far. It's tied at 29 apiece.
And I think UNI struggled with the zone, the 1-3-1 zone that Xavier put on. They missed 11 of their last 12 shots. And they have to find a way to get the ball in the middle against that zone.
McLeod trying to beat the shot clock too strong. Brown went up, but Blewett came away with a basketball. And now he feeds it ahead. Jones so strong and tough inside. Draws the foul, does Tyreek Jones.
Xavier got the ball so deep on that transition. Blewett threw it down low. Tyreek had one dribble to the basket. And Jones is just way too strong to give him that good positioning on a fast break.
61% free throw shooter. 70.6% he shoots from the field, leading the Big East. And there is Byron.
Big Byron Larkin right there. Guy on his right is Joe Sunderman. Both Hall of Famers, both play for the Musketeers.
Gates with a rebound, couldn't stick it back. Good group of guys.
UNI has got to get something going in this half court. They struggled at the end of the shot clock to get something moving. They have to try to get the ball down low.
They go to Cook, and Cook got the roll, Steve.
There were 5 guys that collapsed on him, but Cook is efficient enough under the basket to score. But they have to continue getting the ball in the paint.
Here's Gooden. He goes inside to Jones. Jones takes it up strong and finishes there.
Well, Ben, Jones took one dribble and he had his foot on the circle, the arch down low, the restricted area. You can't let him get that close to the basket if you're UNI.
Yeah. Foul called here in the lane. And we'll look back at that play you're referencing.
Well, you'll see. Throws it over top. There's 4 guys in the paint for the Xavier Musketeers. But it was a really good pass over top of the defense. You have to be creative to try to get the ball inside.
1-point lead for number 9, Xavier. Just 1 loss this season for the Musketeers. It came against Arizona State from downtown. Pickford no good. Gates. Trayvon Blewett. Outside, Kaiser Gates sticks it from downtown. Good touch there from him.
Well, you get your leader on the team in transition, pulling up and looking for a secondary man in transition. That's Trayvon Blewett. He created that shot for Kaiser Gates.
I love that analogy you talked to me about earlier about Blewett. You compare him to Le'Veon Bell, the running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, he looks at the defense and reads it. He's so smart. And he's very astute in the half court, and that time in transition.
Turned over here, picked up by Juwan McLeod. McLeod with a burst and takes it in and finishes.
That's been Xavier's Achilles heel. It's another turnover, number 14, and it led to the 17th point off of turnovers.
There's Blewett, can't counter and hit the 3. McLeod. Second on their team in scoring at 10.5 a game.
You watch Blewett. He brings the defense to him, draws everybody to him, and is a wide open Kaiser Gates. And there's not anybody better in the Missouri Valley Conference getting to the rim than McLeod. He only has 5 points. I'd like to see him be a little bit more active on the offensive end with a dribble drive.
Product of Germantown, Wisconsin is McLeod. Their last game had 10 points against Iowa State. Look at him here. He couldn't finish there with a fancy reverse. And it's rebounded by Gates.
Real nice dribble back door by McLeod. Wasn't able to finish.
Two big boys going at it. Lefty there by O'Mara. Couldn't finish there over Austin Fife. 2-point lead for Xavier. Defense extended out. Shot clock down to 10 now.
Switching back and forth from the zone to the man.
Carlson no good. Blewett now for McCura.
I think Xavier should continue to get the ball down to O'Mara or
to Kaiser Gates.
Or Kaiser Gates hit the three. You know, it's nice to have a big kid. Kaiser Gates, he's not a guard. He's not a small forward. He's 6'8", almost 230, drilling the three ball.
Yeah, he shoots it at 43.5% from downtown. Last two trips, he's hitting at 100%. 2 for 2 his last two here in the second half. Carlson, the body against Gates, and Gates forced the turnover. It came free. It's scooped up by Gooden. He's hot. Tried again. No good. Going for the trifecta there.
That's what I like about the Xavier Ball Club. They get the ball in transition. Not afraid to shoot that three in transition. That was a good open shot for a guy that shoots as well as Kaiser Gates.
Yeah, I like it too. It's open. Shoot it.
He drains that. That really puts a damper. Puts you up by 8. But UNI has got to get something consistently going on the low block.
They're trying to go inside to Fife. And a good save by him in the corner. Brown for 3. Good enough to get that rebound. Quickly ahead for Trayvon Blewett. He's fouled there by Carlson. But they're going to say the foul was on the deck. It doesn't count. And with 15:01 to go, we get a timeout. Kaiser Gates lighting them up here in the second half, Steve.
He is really shooting the ball well. He's about 3 for 5 from 3. You have to make sure you keep him honest by using, when they're overplaying, use the back door.
So back to it. Najee Marshall into the game. They going out on the block now for O'Mara. And O'Mara wanted the foul. Didn't get it. And UNI's got to get something going here, Steve. They're down by 7.
This is a critical time because Xavier is very good. I mean, This is a 9th-ranked team. They're full staff as far as their players. You cannot let them get a 10-point lead because they'll make it 20. So it's important to get an offensive series going to the basket and get something to go down.
Haldeman with a fake. Couldn't get it to go. It's the biggest lead for Xavier in this ball game.
Xavier has tightened that defense up, and you'll see a foul on Lowhouse there.
Yep.
Blewett gets to the basket, and he knows, using his body, when he should be passing, when he should be shooting it. He's very hard to defend the dribble drive.
And Cook's going to come back into the game. He'll replace Fife there. Austin Fife, the 6'9" freshman out of Waverly, Iowa. So Xavier looking to extend their biggest lead in this contest. Leading by 7. Two big boys. O'Mara into the corner, finds Marshall, knocks it down. That young man is going to be something special. He has got a great all-around game, Steve.
Well, I give Marshall all the credit for knocking it down, but from a coach's point of view, O'Mara brought the defense to him. There's 3 guys guarding. He makes a one-handed pass cross-court for the easy 3-point jump shot.
Here he is against Cook, and Cook, that is a huge bucket for UNI, and he'll go to the free throw line trying to complete the 3-point play.
When Cook gets the ball down low, he is very hard to stop. O'Mara has got him face up. He's not as quick as Cook. You see Cook using his body, little fadeaway, gets hit on the offhand by O'Mara. Now Cook with a chance to cut that lead to 7.
Ends a 3-minute and 34-second drought for UNI. And Cook, 6 for 7, shooting the ball and blew it at the end of the bench. Attending to him.
Well, Dave Fluker, the trainer, not sure if he's looking at his, oh, you got cramps? He's looking at his shoulder.
From downtown, it's knocked down right there by J.P. Makura.
Xavier just keeps coming at you. You know, turn the ball over in the first half. They correct that. They're very hard to stop in the half court, and they're very good in transition.
So what you're saying is you got to bring your A game every night.
You have to.
You have to.
And that's what I thought when they had a lot of turnovers early on. I thought UNI should have taken more advantage of that.
Makura again. Rebounded by Carlson. Cook having a big night so far, as you've said. For UNI, they need to keep going to him.
They can throw it. He can get behind O'Mara with his quickness, and that's what but they have to time the pass.
There's Rose dishing. They go inside. There's the time, and the foul is going to be called inside on Karam Cantor. So let's look back as see if we can determine when Trayvon Blewett got injured.
Fourth team foul.
Well, shoulder may have popped out, but they're attending to him. He looks like he's in pain at the end of the bench.
He does. Hard to see him in there. He got surrounded. That was Chris Mack in there, and that is a big-time concern. The way he's reacting doesn't look good at the moment.
Well, the Xavier basketball team has had a lot of injuries this year.
They have.
Gates, Makura, Najee Marshall went down in the Marshall game.
Yeah.
So Cook's doing a great job right now keeping UNI in the game.
Listen to this place. Fans on their feet. And we got a whistle and a foul inside. Look at the crowd here. Sellout crowd capacity here. 6,650. There's all that. Probably the fire marshal probably wouldn't be happy, but there's more than that in this place tonight. 3-point try, no good. Lohaus had it, lost it, and it's tracked calmly by Cook.
UNI is shutting down the inside. They're throwing 2 and 3 guys at the post player. Xavier's thrown out of the post. They got to make sure they have the right guys in position to shoot the 3. With Blewett on the bench, that's going to be Cantor. And when Kaiser Gates in the game, that's going to be Kaiser Gates too.
Cook with a right hand there, trying to get it to go against Jones. We got a stoppage with 11:56 remaining in the second half. Ben,
where your shooters are.
3 ball in the first half was the friend of UNI and Ben Jacobson's team, but in the second half, not so much. Lohaus trying to change that, and he gets the shooter's touch, and it drops.
How big was that shot? That is a huge shot.
Big.
It has the crowd into the game. Xavier's best player and leading scorer out of the game. This is a time for UNI to take advantage.
Jones missed into the hands of Lohaus. UNI can tie it here with a 3.
That was not a good shot in the pivot by Jones. Didn't take any of the shot clock.
Haldeman tried it. He's their best 3-point guy in terms of made threes. And his percentage is close to 50%.
That was a pretty quick shot, too, by the Panthers on that possession. They need to milk that clock and make sure they get another good open attempt. Now, for Xavier, I think with Blewett out of the game, Karam Cantor has to take over. Now Blewett's come back.
He's back in, yeah. There he is.
Keep an eye on his right shoulder.
Yeah.
But Cantor's the guy that I think they can give him some scoring power inside.
UNI, a 7-0 run over the last 100-plus seconds. See if UNI goes after Trayvon Blewett. Cantor up top. Makura.
You saw Jones throw that back out of the pivot. He's got to do that. I'm sure he has a good attempt at the basket.
Blewett uses the body, missed the shot.
It's going to be Jones with a push-off.
Yeah, it is. Back over to UNI. Here's Trayvon Blewett back up court.
This is an RPI game.
It is. They're both very good in the RPI, too.
Xavier's 11th. UNI 23.
Yes.
For Xavier, it's a good road opportunity to play in a hostile environment. UNI, this is a resume builder. Missouri Valley, so much better this year. 6 in the RPI overall.
Largest lead UNI's overcome this season was 7 against NC State in that battle for Atlantis, and they won that game, and there's another big bucket. This game is tied up. Lowhouse with a 10-0 UNI run. Crowd into it, on their feet here at McLeod Center.
How important is having Lowhouse back playing? He has been so inspirational to this team.
Here's Canner down the lane and rimmed it in to make it a 2-point Xavier lead.
Canner is so mature. Guy is a very strong Euro player, can get to the rim. They have to utilize him in the half court.
Lowhouse takes it in. It's knocked away by Jones. Foul's going to be called, though, as Tyreek Jones, a sophomore, he'll back to his feet.
Watch Lowhouse get around Mikura, comes in there, and Jones probably should have just walled up there instead of jumping or taking the charge.
Yeah.
Lowhouse is putting this team on his back right now. 2 for 2 from behind the arc. Ooh. That wasn't as sweet as that outside jumper.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
I wasn't ready for that clunker off the rim.
He led their team in their last game, in their last weekend, a loss against Iowa State at 16 points.
I think he had that turf toe. And
he did.
And it's so hard to get rid of that. And so it was out for nearly 2 years.
Yeah. 1-point game. Xavier by 1. Here's Blewett against Lowhouse. And they call the foul on Wyatt Lowhouse. Fans voicing their displeasure here. The home fans, anyways.
It's nice to have a guy like Trayvon Blewett with his experience in the lineup in close games. Lowhouse let him go baseline and bumped him with the chest. It's been a very physical game.
And up top, the 3 no good from Mikura. Canner, the offensive rebound. Try it again from downtown. No good there from Quentin Gooden. UNI can take the lead as we come up on 9 to go in this ball game.
Watch Lowhouse. He's on the top of your screen. See if they find a way to get him open. I try to put the ball into Friedemann and see if he can pump it back outside to Lowhouse.
Lowhouse has scored their last 7 points. He's got it. Tries again from downtown. No good. Canner the rebound. Here comes Trayvon Blewett. He's going to try from downtown. Knocked it down. Beautiful shot on the run from Blewett.
A lot of guys would try to take that into the heart of the defense and get a shorter shot. Blewett just spots up in transition for the 3.
Xavier's hit 10 threes. First time they've done that in their last 5 since they were 10 for 21 against Cincinnati.
I don't know how long Ben Jacobson Keats took out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Got to make sure. Cook's the one guy that's been so efficient down low.
Outside, rimmed out, no good from Clint Carlson. Here comes Trayvon Blewett, going to pull up again, but 4 feet beyond the arc. Rebound knocked around into the hands of Lowhouse. They got numbers. Wyatt Lowhouse lost the dribble. Globetrotter light there and saved it.
Carlson has struggled from the outside and the inside, really not getting the production out of him. He needs to get something moving here too.
Here's Wyatt Lowhouse. Shot clock down to 5. Carlson going to try it from deep.
That was a dead-on three-pointer, and he's got such a sweet touch.
Yeah.
It's uncharacteristic of how he's played this year. Talk about improvement. I think he shot 25% from the three-point line last year, and he's shooting 33 this year. Just increased it. Needs to continue shooting it, though.
They look across the way, and Marshall set to come in for Xavier. 3 players getting set to come in for UNI. Shot clock down to 4. Cantor up top. Beautiful touch from Karam. Cantor says, take that.
He has come in and made some. Is a film assistant.
Yeah. Adam was the first. They have a sister. I asked their SID today. I said, any other boys in their family? And he said, no, there's a sister who's committed to play volleyball at Purdue. What a family that is.
How fun was it talking to Colin McDonough yesterday and today? He's the SID at UNI. Does a great job for them.
Both staffs, great job helping us out. Appreciate all their help.
Tommy Iser, he's been there since I was back in the day, I think.
Sure will appreciate that.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame SID too.
He is. Pickford averaging nearly 10 rebounds a game, skying up to get that.
Well, he's a leading rebounder under 6'5" in the country, but he has struggled. He has not scored. He's only got 4 rebounds. Xavier has kept him in check.
Yep, he's number 7 among freshmen in rebounding. Foul call here. You mentioned Carlson. His struggles continue as he's called for the offensive foul here.
I thought he had the open jump shot. If you watch it, he had the open jump shot on Kaiser Gates. Gates just was going with him. Watch your right arm. He pushes off. You can't do that. You can't get an advantage by throwing your arm out there. Good call.
And Jacobson looking on. 46 years old he is. He's been here 17 years total. He's in his 12th year as their head coach, a product of Mayville, North Dakota. 6 minutes to go in the game here, Steve. And Gooden kept his shoe on the right side of the line. Marshall with a quick step. Looked like Haldeman took a shot to the mouth. And Marshall draws the foul on the way to the paint. Haldeman still checking his teeth.
Watch, Marshall gets out there. We got an elbow into Haldeman, but he was fouled at the rim. I don't know if he was fouled by Cook. I'm not sure if there was much contact there.
The referee's discussing.
Najee Marshall is going to be a great player for the Xavier Musketeers in years to come.
You're looking at Spencer Haldeman. There's the elbow right in the chops.
It was an inadvertent elbow, but I think that as much physical contact that they've had, that's not a huge foul right there. But
they're going to take a peek.
I think they're looking at the elbow, and it was inadvertent.
Our chief is Randy Heimerman. We're checking to see if it classifies it as one of these. You don't think it does?
They can't. That was an inadvertent contact. You're going to call it, maybe call an offensive foul, but that was not a flagrant one or two.
Yeah.
And but it was a hit. And call that a foul, an offensive foul. But I don't think it was a flagrant foul at all. But the other thing you have going here, Ben, is that's Cook's 4th foul.
Correct.
Now, there's only 5 minutes left, but you want to keep him in the game because he's been your offensive stalwart.
He really has carried them here tonight. They continue to take a look back with 5:50 to go. 9th-ranked Xavier up 54-47. Chris Mack's guys, they begin Big East play 2 days after Christmas. And it's not that long after that UNI begins as well. And it is not a flagrant. You nailed it.
Well, and I think right now, if you're UNI, what you want to do is you want to stay close. You want to make sure you're playing good, solid defense, good attempts at the basket on the other end. That means getting Cook the ball inside. And Carlson's just got to step up and shoot it. He's got to quit thinking himself into missing shots. Xavier Musketeers have to do a better job on the offensive end and getting the ball back into O'Mara.
Yes.
I think when he gets the ball, good things happen because he's a nice passer out of the post.
Marshall, no good on the first. The foul, as you said, Steve, was the 4th on Cook. And for the time being, Ben Jacobson leaves him in the game. Wyatt Lohaus comes in to replace McLeod.
I think you have to. Yeah. That's a really smart play. I mean, it's a no-brainer keeping him in the game. He's a smart player. He's a 5th-year senior. And he's a guy that's given him a lot of points.
Marshall splits. 55-47. UNI, no points, approaching 4 minutes Lohaus was hot earlier. Cook's been good the entire.
They're going to get O'Mara there.
They are.
And that is a really good play by Cook. He's quicker, so he can pull O'Mara a little bit further away from the basket and make sure that there's not body on body. Because body on body, O'Mara wins every time. You see right here, he goes in and faces up, and you'll see O'Mara gets his left arm over top.
Cook with 20, both teams in the bonus. 5:39 to play in this one. Sellout crowd here.
Talk about Ben Jacobson. He's been here 12 years, and he's had so much success. And every year they say, "You're leaving." I watched his dad up in the stands. His dad Doug was up in the stands watching practice yesterday. This is exactly where Ben Jacobson should be, where he loves being. Right at Cook. Smart move.
Yep. No question.
With those 4 fouls every time down the court, they should be looking into O'Mara, because if you get Cook out of the game, they're losing one of the best offensive players on the floor.
Without question. Lohaus wants some help. Haldeman. Mismatch here with Najee Marshall on him. Good pass inside to Cook. Cook up and good. And Blewett's going to be called for the foul, and Bennett Cook continues. That's 4 now on Blewett.
Well, they're looking for him. Haldeman drew 2 guys to him. O'Mara was too far out. Should have been back in the post. He could way outside. You had 3 guards guarding Haldeman. But great vision to get that ball into Cook's hands.
And a career high against UNLV, had 30 in that game back on November the 29th. Big night for him tonight, playing with 4. 6-point game as he checks out for a little bit.
Well, what they're going to do is do offensive defense now at 5-minute mark. Get him out on defense, because you don't want to risk that 5th foul.
Fans to their feet.
It's still go inside to O'Mara, because Friedman doesn't play that much, is not as strong, and they're going to get Pickford for a foul on Blewett.
So that's the first on the freshman out of Minneapolis, Taiwan Pickford.
Blewett shoots it at 88% from the free throw line.
Good there.
Looks like his shoulder looks okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what happened, but it might have popped out. They were working on his shoulder.
Looks like he's favoring that right arm to me. Yeah, he's senior leader of this team, Trayvon Blewett. Missed the second. Pickford comes away with it. Gates tried to knock it away. It's into the hands of Wyatt Lohaus now.
Lots of time. UNI doesn't have to rush. Need to move it around. Cook's in the game. Try to look for him on the low block. If you have the open 3, take it.
7-point lead for ninth-ranked Xavier. Here's Cook. Takes it up. And nearly was tipped in there when Blewett tried to grab it.
Well, Cook had O'Mara away from the basket. It was a perfect opportunity to use his quickness to get around him. O'Mara did a good job of walling up and not letting him score.
Blewett feeds it inside to O'Mara. In there against Cook. That was close. And a turnover by Xavier. That's one thing they haven't done very much of. Up until that one, they had just 1 in this second half after 13 in the first half.
Well, watch this. I think Cook, it's very physical down there. That's good defense. I think it was more Lohaus fouling him there, but that was a close one. You never know. Calling those fouls, but good defense by UNI. Scruggs needs to settle down a little bit. Don't rush too much.
Scruggs checked out along with O'Mara. For Xavier. Inside of 4 minutes to play in the game now.
Najee Marshall is all over Haldeman and now all over Lohaus. Good defender at 6'7".
I really, watching him, I was so impressed. Haldeman! Oh, is he impressive? Spencer Haldeman bangs one through for 3. 20 points for UNI off turnovers. Jones.
That's it. That's Cook.
Yeah.
That's his fifth.
That is. Jones took it right at him. Tyreek Jones knocks him out of the game.
Now you need a three. Got to find him. Where is it? Hold him in deep. Oh, over good.
The foul looked like, and we believed it was originally on Bennett Cook. It is not. It's the second on Tywan Pickford.
You watch Pickford. I don't know how that was on Pickford. I don't know who they called the foul on.
They called it on number 4. So Cook still has 4 and remains
That's
in the
huge.
game. It is.
That is huge, and they need to go to him right now. Little pick and roll. See if we can get him open.
6-point lead for number 9, Xavier. Cook against Tyreek Jones, who is a tough
Get Jones on the body.
They are. Wow.
They've tightened up the calls in the second half. They're calling it that way on both ends of the court, which is fine. Lots of little contact on both ends, and there's a little bit of jawing.
For Marshall, that's 3 on Jones.
The problem is, if you go down and you help out on Cook, he's a good passer. He's going to get the guys open for the jump shots on the perimeter. And the way Lohaus and Haltman shooting, Haltman can drain it. Lohaus has been shooting well tonight, too.
So Trayvon Blewett back in for Xavier there. He came in to replace Najee Marshall. 3:06 to play. And a 2-possession lead right now for Xavier. Blewett skies up to get the rebound. Under 3 to go as it's walked up by Gooden.
Xavier needs to get to the free throw, get the ball inside, get an easy shot or get to the free throw line.
Panther.
Xavier is shooting it at almost 80% from the free throw line.
Here's Blewett against Carlson. Tough shot.
Great defense.
Cook's got it. He and Jones. And a stop for UNI.
Very good defense in the half court by UNI. Now they need to do the same thing they did last time, and they're going to get an offensive foul.
They're calling this.
Oh, no, they're
calling it on Xavier.
Is that on Trayvon Blewett? That's his.
It is.
That's his fifth.
Yes. That is 5 on number 5, and he's done with 2:25 to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really a cheap foul, but a foul nonetheless. You don't hold. That's definitely a foul on Trayvon Blewett. Pass interference, so to speak, because Cook was going right to the basket, and he would have had an opportunity to score.
So Blewett out with 12 points. His team on top by 5 here, trying to finish the non-conference with what would be a hard-fought win here against this UNI team. They can pull it off. Cook's going to go to the line for 2.
Double bonus.
Yep, both are in it, both teams.
Cook's 8 of 10 from the free throw line. Karam Cantor is in the game for Blewett. Boy, he's been playing, though, Cantor. I mean, he's been so important off that bench. Kaiser Gates is coming in for Jones. So now you have some outside jump shooters with Makura. You have Gates and you have Cantor.
Cook, an 80% free throw shooter coming in. Knocks them both down, and Friedman checks back in for the time being for Cook, and Xavier with the ball in a hostile environment.
Well, Xavier's been in this kind of situation the last couple games, playing from behind, playing close games. It's important that they execute in the half court. They really don't have a legitimate 5 in the game.
Gooden missed it. Haldeman trying to save it, and does. Another stop and a chance to tie for UNI.
Gooden took it in the lane and really threw it off. it wasn't off course on the jump shot. They need to do a better job getting the ball inside.
Timeout. Bennett Cook with 25 points, 26 points tonight, 8 of 12 from the field, 10 of 12 from the line. Lohaus, and getting a piece of that was Gates. And they look at him and say, it's going to be a foul on you, young man.
That's Cook. That's his fifth. And you know what? There's no reason to make this foul. It was a cheap foul by Cook. There's no way he's going to get that rebound. You know, that's just not a fifth-year senior play. As well as he's played, they need him in the game.
Yeah.
Good defensive play by Jones. Cleaning up Lohouse's drive.
Battled hard, 26 points he's done for the night.
What a great game.
It was. At 16 points in the second half. Carried UNI in the second half to this point, along with Wyatt Lohaus.
8 for 12 from the field.
So Cook out. Trayvon Blewett is fouled out for Xavier. Here is Tyreek Jones at the line for two.
Jones is a 61% free throw shooter. As we said, this is going to come down to a free throw shooting game. Trayvon Blewett out of the game with 5 fouls. Bennett Cook for UNI out of the game.
Sticks them both. It's up to a 5-point game. Chris Mack takes the timeout with 1:40.
Leading score for UNI. Blewett's out of the game for Xavier. What UNI has got to take their time. It's a lot of time left. They got to take their time, get the ball inside. Maybe Carlson. I'd love to see him come up with a big play. Xavier Musketeers won't let him run that clock down.
100 seconds to play in the game. Beautiful play, knocking that away from behind. And then the jam at the other end from J.P. Makura. Oh, that was big time.
Well, now you got to get a quick score. Get a quick score. You still have lots of time. You have 2 timeouts left.
80 seconds left now. Inside, Pickford gets it to go, and Gooden couldn't get it. Timeout by the Panthers.
Now Xavier's defense creates a turnover. Pickford gets his pocket picked, and then Makura at the other end. Now Carlson has struggled, but he's a very good three-point shooter too. But on defense, they cannot allow Xavier to run too much clock.
Here we go. Makura with the basketball. Watched by Lohaus. Friedman out on Gooden. Gooden kicking it back. Makura with another shot from downtown. The senior playing well on the road. Only a couple hours away from his hometown, and he's been big here the last 2 trips down the floor. And they come back. Brown with a 3. And Jacobson takes the timeout for UNI.
Nobody should be going away from this game because Denton State and Morehead State, Marshall, the last 2 games have been struggles.
Yeah. Fun for those watching and us. The coaches, not so much. They're pulling hair out.
I would think that
foul there on Gooden. It's going to be on Haldeman.
I would have thought they fouled you. Right now with 47 seconds left, as well as Xavier shoots free throws, you might have to be shooting 3 for 2.
Yeah.
Give him the 2 free throws and come down and shoot a 3.
So Gooden will step to the free throw line. He's an 85% free throw shooter, 85.2 to be exact. Connecting on the first. 6-point game.
Still 2-possession game.
Jones back in for Xavier. Excuse me, Steve.
It's an important free throw for Gooden.
Trying to come in, he is. A little breather for the final 47 seconds here, I suppose. See if Gooden can knock down the second one, make it a 7-point game, and he does.
And now it's a 3-possession game. You don't want to give any open threes. They're in the 1-3-1 now, coming out of that mini break.
Floater from Carlson, good.
That's a foul quickly.
Haldeman against Gooden.
Well, they're going to have to foul.
There is the foul by Spencer Haldeman. Send Gooden back to the line for a pair.
But you got the easy bucket. Good pass by Lohaus to Carlson. If you don't have the three, you got to take the easy one. Xavier came out, switched up defenses, wanted that 1-3-1, really eliminate that outside jump shot.
3 straight free throws for Gooden.
It's interesting, the Xavier team, they played without Gates and McCura last week, and then Najee Marshall gets hurt. Now they're playing without Blewett, so they're ending the game with a different group almost every game they play. And this is helpful down the road.
Great point, tipped away by McCura.
So Chris Mack has McCura at the point of the 1-3-1, and he's also making it hard for them to get the ball over half court quickly.
Another stoppage here. They're going to go over to the scoring table. Our crew chief is Randy Heimerman.
The shot clock didn't change, and there was a tip out of bounds, and I think that's what they're saying.
Yeah. Half a minute remaining. Spencer Haldeman into the front court, double team all over him. Good defense. Lohaus, open man, Brown from downtown. Got it! 21.5 seconds to go, and it's a 4-point game.
Unbelievable shot by Brown, but they had to find him in the corner, and that's a smart play by Haldeman. No time goes off the clock, and he fouls. Gooden again. I mean, really, you have to foul the first guy. I mean, I know Gooden's shooting it at 91%, but you got to foul. Time is your enemy right now, not Gooden. And they could run out of time. Brown's shooting the way he is. You know, another 30 seconds might help him a little bit.
Yeah, it's up to 5 the lead now.
He was deep in that corner, and Jones couldn't get over there quick enough.
A couple of good-looking freshmen on this UNI team. He's one of them, along with Pickford. So still having issues with the clock. Making sure that's correct. Referees convening. And the faithful here getting on the officials a little bit.
I actually thought it was 21.4 seconds.
Yeah.
When they did it, and I thought he was fouled before the clock started, and I think that's what they're checking on right now. But yeah, they put 21.5. They put another 0.3 of a second on, so that was a good call because he was fouled before.
Yes. Got that sorted out. It's a 72-67 lead for Xavier. Gooden back to the line.
So still 2-possession game. 2 threes ties it up, but you got to get the ball down quick, and you got to get guys open, spread out on the perimeter.
6-point game. Lohaus in the corner. Haldeman. Pickford trying to knock it free. Rebounded by Gates, and he's fouled with 9.5 to go. And we'll head to the other end for a couple more free throws.
That time they had Najee Marshall, who came over and made the defensive play and got in Haldeman's face. Marshall's all over Haldeman right now in man-to-man, and at 6'7", as athletic as he is, that's a really hard shot. That's where you wanted the ball to go, though. You wanted to give Haldeman a chance to hit that three.
Kaiser Gates. Xavier down the stretch here, 9 of 9 at the free throw line after that make.
First in the Big East at 70, almost 79%. Fourth in the country.
Yes.
That is huge, especially in games like this.
Yep. 10 for 10 are the Musketeers down the stretch, 75-67. Final seconds into the front court. It's intercepted. Marshall's going to put an exclamation point on this game. Najee Marshall makes it a 10-point game. And that's going to do it. That is one big exclamation point, Steve Wolf.
And it wasn't a 10-point game. I mean, the score does not reflect how close this game was.